Is this not just the perfect shade ever? Hey everyone, welcome back. My name is Carmel, and in today's video we are taking a look at the new MAC Powder Kiss Hazy Matte Lipsticks. I say new, not technically, they are a reformulation of their original Powder Kiss lipsticks. They reformulated some of their original shades and added some new shades. Now, despite being a huge MAC lipstick lover, I was never a fan of the Powder Kiss formula. So I started with 2 of the new Powder Kiss and I loved them so much, I ended up with 8. So if you want to see me swatch and apply these, then please do keep on watching. So usually when MAC reformulate their lipsticks, I can usually give you a comparison of how they were compared to how they are now, but I don't have any of the original Powder Kiss. I know that's so unusual, isn't it? But as I said, never really into the Powder Kiss formula. Don't know why, I must have been crazy. But anyway, let's just take a look at what this lipstick claims to be. So the MAC Powder Kiss Hazy Matte Lipstick retails for around €28 and it is available in around 24 shades. There are 12 new shades to add to the original line, and I have picked up a mixture of some of the old and some of the new. So this claims to be a blurring, weightless matte lipstick with a sheer to medium buildable coverage and 10 hours of moisturizing long wear. It has a comfortable and lightweight feel. It is non-smudging, non-flaking, and non-bleeding. So first of all, I did want to mention the packaging. I love this. This is actually the nicest MAC packaging I've ever seen. It's so sleek. It's so classy. It's absolutely beautiful. The all black. Oh, I just love it. Why didn't I like the original Powder Kiss? I think just because they were matte. And now it sounds silly really because I do like the matte MAC formula. However, I would choose glossy and shiny over matte any day. These are the most unusual and unique formulas I've ever tried. I have never tried anything quite like these before. So we're going to start off with some of the bolder colours, so some of the reds and pinky reds, and then we're going to move in to the nudes because you know they are my favourites, and I will end with my favourite shades. So we're going to kick off and we're going to start with Devoted to Chili. And I will be applying all of these lipsticks without a lip liner so that you can see the true colour. So Devoted to Chili is described as a warm brick red. If you have been avoiding matte lipsticks, if you have been avoiding red matte lipsticks because you feel like they're drying, you need to check these out. These are game changing when it comes to matte lipsticks. I don't like the feeling of matte lipsticks. I find that they feel really dry. These feel like a lip balm, a matte lip balm. Can you see how blurred my lips are? I don't know how it works, but it's the most incredibly blurring, beautiful, flattering formula. And if you're wondering what it looks like next to Original Chili, which is from the matte formula, obviously Original Chili is still warm, but it's a lot more pigmented. And that's what you will realize about these new Hazy Matte formulas is they are so sheer, but they are so buildable. Absolutely stunning. Devoted to Chili. One of my absolute new favourites. Next, we are moving on to Stay Curious, which is described as a mid-tone red pink. Stay Curious isn't normally a shade I would go for, but I was really intrigued by it because it's a little bit bolder. And do you know, the one thing that you'll notice about these lipsticks is that you don't need to be careful when you are applying these. It's not like applying a matte lipstick. They are very, very forgiving and beginner and user-friendly. And you will notice how beautifully velvet these feel on the lips. So although you know that they are that Powder Kiss formula, they just feel so hydrating and weightless, honestly. And I can tell you something, once these lipsticks dry down, they are on. You forget that they're on your lips. They are transfer proof. They are meal proof. They are drink proof. Whatever you're going to do, this lipstick will remain on your lips. I have been shocked that I've gone through 2 meals in a day and still not had to top this up. So I have just applied this, so I've not really waited for it to dry down. You'll see how little comes off. You see there? Beautiful shade. Not one I'd normally go for, but I'm glad I did. Next, we are moving on to Brickthrough, which is described as a warm, dusty rose. Brickthrough was a little bit of a chance for me because I didn't know how it would turn out on me and my complexion. And I was worried that it wouldn't suit me. I couldn't love this shade any more than what I do. Isn't it just absolutely perfect? Sometimes, because of my olive complexion, some pinky toned lipsticks can pull super pink on me, like ridiculously pink, and very, very cool and almost unwearable. Whereas this, I feel like this would be so flattering on so many different types of skin tone. I love this. I actually love it so much. And this is one of the reasons why I've ended up with 8 of these. I love them. And so again, that is Brickthrough. What a stunner. Now we are moving on to Mull It Over, which is described as a mid-tone pink peach. So I feel like we're moving in to some of the more softer shades now. And I believe that Mull It Over is just, I would describe it as that perfect throw-on shade. It is so easy and everyday, and tell me that there's not a better summer shade out there than Mull It Over. Isn't it just the most prettiest, softest, most beautiful pinky peach shade? And look again at how blurred my lips are. Honestly, it's so hard for me to explain the powder case without you actually having experienced it. It is not within our mindset to accept a matte lipstick being hydrating and to be beautiful and soft and blurring like this. It really is phenomenal. And yeah, Mull It Over, just the most perfect everyday shade. It's a stunner. Next, we're moving on to one of the newer shades, and this is Be My Bridesmaid. Be My Bridesmaid is described as a neutral, cool beige. Now, I'm going to be completely honest. Be My Bridesmaid is a shade that I picked up more for you guys than for me. I knew that I would not suit this. I knew that I wouldn't be keen on it because it's far too pale for me and my skin tone. And now I know that pale pink lipsticks are all the rage right now. I'm never going to be on board with that. It just doesn't suit me. Obviously, to get away with a shade like this, I am going to have to pair it with a lip liner. So I actually have 2 that I would be inclined to use this lipstick with. So the first one from MAC is Whirl. And I think that would be a great option. And if I wanted to maintain how cool the lipstick is on me, I could go in with Cool Spice as well. They are quite similar, but different. Whirl has more of kind of that brownie base to it. So I'll just show you this with a lip liner because this makes me look sick. It does. It makes me look very, very sick. However, I think if you had more of a lighter skin tone to me, if you had a cooler undertone, I think you would love this shade. And I know that this has become a firm favorite with people. I just don't think it's a shade for me, personally. There was a shade that I still used to wear it, a MAC shade called Snob, and it used to pull like this on my lips. So again, I need a lip liner. It's a nice shade, but I think it's more suited to certain skin tones. And I also think it's suited to certain preferences. Unfortunately, it's not my preference, but still a beautiful shade. So again, that is Be My Bridesmaid with a lip liner. The next we are moving on to Taken, which is described as a warm red beige. So the best way to describe Taken, in my opinion, is basically your lips but deeper. So for me, it's like a deep nude and I think it's absolutely beautiful. Oh, it's really one of my favorites, hence why it's in my top 3. It feels and it looks really effortless and it's not bold or scary. It's very, very everyday friendly. And it's although it's described as a neutral nude, I do feel like on my undertone, so I am a neutral olive, it definitely pulls just a tiny bit cool, and I'm not mad about that. And I feel like it really does pair well with the new reformulated MAC matte lipsticks, so the nude collection. So, you know, Cool Teddy, a Signature Move, Alone Time. I feel like this one slots really nicely in with them, but this is way more comfortable than those matte lipsticks. I'm telling you that for free. So again, that is Taken, and it really is such an amazing shade. Don't rule it out because it's a little bit deeper. Moving on now to Off the Market, which is described as a warm, neutral beige. There are similarities between Taken, which was the previous one, and this one, Off the Market. But I feel like Off the Market is a little bit more understated, and obviously it's a little bit more neutral than what Taken is. For me, Off the Market is just a little bit softer, a little bit more casual. This has been, well, it's been very well used over the past few days. I think this is just that shade that you can stick in your purse, take it everywhere with you, and you can apply literally without thinking. So if you're looking for that perfect neutral, so something that is not going to pull too pink or too beige on you, then I think this is it. It's very, very soft on the lips. This just blends into your natural lips a little bit more seamlessly than what Taken does. But oh my gosh, isn't it just beautiful? Oh, I love it. I love it so much. So we're on to the last shade, which is my absolute favorite. It's Teddy 2.0, and it's described as a mid-tone pink beige. So I think, as you can see here, Teddy 2.0 is noticeably more rosier than Taken and Off the Market, and it just brightens up not only the lips but the whole complexion. This shade just brings everything up a notch. It just brightens everything. It's a little bit prettier than the previous ones, and this has been my most used shade. I love this. It literally comes everywhere with me. I mean, I love all the teddies, velvet teddy, warm teddy, cool teddy, but I think out of all the teddies, Teddy 2.0 is absolutely well and truly my favorite, and you are never going to prize this from my hands, for real. And for anybody wondering, yes, they still have the traditional MAC lipstick fragrance, of course. Now, obviously, lipsticks will show up slightly differently on my skin tone than yours, and the lighting does affect things too. So I'm just going to insert some daylight swatches of these lipsticks for you now, both with and without a flash. Do keep in mind that these lipsticks are very, very blurred, so it can look like that on the actual images, but it is just because they are such a blurring lipstick. So I think if I had to pick my absolute favourite shades, I would definitely go for Teddy 2.0 and Brickthrough, which was a surprising favourite for me. But I just need to say to you, if you were a Powder Kiss hater, if you don't like matte lipsticks, I think you might want to look into these, because I never thought that on a day-to-day basis I would be reaching for a matte lipstick in my purse, in my pocket. I always reach for something that's hydrated and glossy. You know what I love. But these have taken over, and there's a reason why. I started with 2 and now I have 8, and I want more, but I know that that's obscene, so I'm not going to do that. But seriously, these MAC Powder Kiss lipsticks, I'm going to say it, I think they're my favourite. I think they're my favourite formula. Apart from the Luster Glass, which have my heart, I genuinely think these are my favourite. And yeah, who knew? Who would have thought it? These are phenomenal, and wow, MAC have seriously knocked it out of the park with this one. I love them all. So do let me know, have you tried any of these new Powder Kiss lipsticks? Are you planning on picking any up? Which one of these were your favourite? Let us know everything down in the comments. Thank you so much for joining me for this video. I so appreciate you being here with me. I'm really looking forward to seeing you in the next video, but until then, take care and bye for now.